I'm James Russell, I'm the lead designer for the Total War series. Real war, historically, is always about, a particular tactic. And then in reality, if one particular nation is employing a tactic successfully, other people learn that and counter it. So you get this kind of natural arms race where something's tried, something works, other people respond to that. And so actually that works perfectly for making an entertaining and strategically interesting computer game. So history provides brilliant inspiration, and what we want to do is put the player in that historical context. And so the counterfactual history point, what that's about is putting you in that historical context, but so we create a realistic, very historically accurate starting point, but then you write your own story. You make it happen. So we'll say, okay, this is how the world was in 1860, or this is how the world was in Japan in the 1550s. What do you want to do? What do you want to do now? How are you gonna conquer this nation in the way that it was conquered? That's up to the player. So we want to make the player feel like a Japanese warlord. We want to put the player. So in Fall of the Samurai, we want to put the player in the context of Japan at that point in time, but then allow the player to make their own decisions. Total War battles are spectacular things. You've got thousands of men fighting, clashing. There's a thrill to that, and a different kind of thrill to that in different eras. It's cool to see it in it was cool to see it in the ancient Roman world. It's cool to see it in the medieval world. It's cool to see it in the 18th century when you've got naval battles as well, and muskets and cannons. It's great to see it in medieval Japan and as Japan modernizes. There's lots of settings that it would be I think really exciting to fight Total War battles in. And we've got a huge pile of kind of options that we would love to set the game in. Yeah, those could be fantasy settings. They could be different historical settings. There's just a ton of stuff that we want to do. And so yeah, we could go more modern even than Fall of the Samurai, or we could choose something from further back in the past. Like I said, we've got a massive pile of things we want to do. But I certainly think that Fall of the Samurai, which has been a really exciting project for us, and as you say, it is the most modern setting in which we've had a Total War game. It's fun and it works. It shows that we can do Total War battles with more explosive kind of naval warfare, with and with bigger, badder cannons and Gatling guns and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it shows that it's possible to take those battles into a more modern context. Yeah, it's certainly possible.